Oh.
We're missing J.
Brenda just throws it down and.
That's okay.
I always get relegated to the bar.
That's right.
Next month, next
You
month.
always said the same
Next month, I'll move you
Oh,
over there.
yeah, you wait a minute.
Julie, would you mind reading the comments?
I can do that.
Thank you.
Let me get my glasses.
They came in previously for two-story addition, now they're slimming down to one.
Right.
Comments will know, comments will get there.
Mhm.
We'll hit drawings
Yeah,
for both.
yeah.
No,
It's number 2.
Hey there.
no.
I looked at it,
Okay.
when the packet came out, I looked at it right away, and now
Oh,
I'm
boy.
trying to remember.
I can
Jake.
remember
Hi,
the
we had them up at a different meeting they didn't show.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, we had them up at a different meeting.
No show. Okay.
And it's a new mixed use thing too, so.
Pretty much all new stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
One quick revision and.
Well, okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Skokie Appearance Commission for July 13th, 2022. This is the Appearance Commission. We're here to help decide on the appearance of your new projects or renovations. To that end, hopefully you brought some samples along with you to help us decide. In addition, we've invited, for the residential cases anyway, we've invited neighbors to your property to see if they have any comments or concerns about what it is you're intending to do. They are welcome to come up and review if they haven't already seen the project or comment on it once they're here. We also have comments that the staff has provided for us to review based on their initial review of each case. Commissioner Nomiak will read those comments into the record prior to each case. Prior to that, however, I'd like to swear you all in. If you intend to give any kind of testimony tonight, please rise and I will swear you in. If you raise your right hand and swear or affirm that the testimony you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you very much. Before we get started, if I can get a motion to approve the minutes of the June 8th meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the June 8th Appearance Commission meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed? So passed. Thank you. The first case tonight is case number 2022-034A at 9330 Kedvale, a first floor addition.
This case was previously heard as case 2021-068A, first and second floor addition. The petitioner is now proposing only a one-floor addition, first floor addition. Due to the increase in bedrooms on site, 2 off-street parking spaces will need to be provided on site. The parking spaces cannot be located in the required front yard. Fire sprinklers are required throughout the entire home due to the size of the addition. Staff would like to see the roof line on the front elevation improved.
So that's the second floor, and there should be plans for just the first.
Yeah, so this was a previously approved second floor plan.
Okay?
Existing home.
Right.
Now it's just a rear addition. Staff thought just the way that front little portion looked was a little maybe off. But overall, the look, no objections.
All materials to match existing, more or less?
Current existing is just brick, but we're gonna do just regular siding, vinyl siding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe?
I'm gonna jump in really quickly and say, I don't necessarily have an issue with the roof line, because if you look at the profile of it, it's all in line, it's not a zig and a zag. It looks, the only difference is it looks like it's about a foot higher. The eve line is about a foot higher in the back, but you don't really notice that from the front. But it looks to me like the roof line is smooth. So I don't think that's gonna be a visual issue.
Any other comments? Okay. The other comments are mostly zoning issues, sprinklers and
Yeah,
off.
we have that planned in
and-
already.
And parking and so
Yeah,
on.
we're adding a driveway, just no detached garage this time, just,
All right, so,
same cost.
so no issues with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just have to have 2 parking spaces,
Yeah.
clearly show 2 spaces on the side of the home to meet the requirement. No
Gotcha.
garage, which is okay.
Okay. Would anybody like to make a motion? Jay, what do you,
I'll
what do you
make a
think?
motion.
Is your mic on, Jay? Your mic, is it on?
Hello?
Good,
Yeah,
thank
it
you.
will, yeah. I make a motion that certificate of appropriateness to be granted for case number 2020-034A as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed? So passed. Good luck. Thank you. The second case tonight is case number 2022-032A at 5248 Aradia? Or is that Arcadia?
Arcadia.
Arcadia. First and second floor addition. I forgot to say, petitioners, please come up to either microphone to make your presentation. Are they here? Going once?
Okay.
Going twice? Okay,
We'll call them at the end to see if they come in.
we'll
Okay.
call them at the end to see if they come in. Moving on to the next case then, 2022-033A at 9020 Colmar, a new detached residence.
The proposed new home will need to install fire sprinklers throughout the entire home. The permit drawings will need to be stamped by an Illinois licensed architect. The staff recommends considering changing the metal fascia to wood and to add windows on the side elevations if possible. Yeah, it's really cool.
Good evening.
My name is Michael Gallankai. I'm the architect. Client is right here,
Mhm.
Mr. Fleischman. So the upper fascia, you're requesting that it be wood product instead of the metal product?
Well, that was a staff suggestion. That's why the materials are here, so we can review it.
And Brian asked me to bring materials because they weren't translating accurate there, and I do have this was the sheet that we had in our presentation, and these are the actual sample board. And that upper fascia is gonna be painted, so, and it's a matte metal like your
Mm-hmm.
ceiling product, except no joints and wider boards, and it's a very flat product we've used before, so I think they will look alike, and we probably will have a good durable product in metal. The reason for and it'll be painted either way, the same color, so the request for it in wood is, what is that for?
That was a recommendation by staff to
Okay.
consider it.
I like
That's-
the metal.
Right now is a pack-clad product. They're an Illinois company, and they have stock of material. That's one of the reasons that we selected it, because we
Mhm.
could get it within a reasonable number of months.
Was the feeling, Brian, that it would be more residential looking? in-
Yeah, kind of with the door too. It was one staff member suggested it, a couple other people liked the idea but weren't 100% sold on it, but
Right. Go ahead, John.
I've got something to add on that, if you don't mind. I'm gonna jump right in,
Sure.
since that seems to
Sure.
be really one of the only concerns here. I really like the design of the building. I think it's great. I think the size is right. I think it fits in with the neighborhood. Really nice. I think the one concern would be with wood versus metal is if the metal is thick enough so that it's not wavy, because it's such a prominent feature on the house. Wood is, gonna be just look a little bit more substantial, and this is my own opinion. If the mill on the metal is too thin, it's wavy, and it's not gonna go with the kind of the sleek look of your house.
If it's wood, it would be a 3/4 inch thick,
And it-
sort of tongue and groove panel. Right now, in the last 10 years, we've been using products like AZAC, that's not metal or wood, it's a fiber
Yeah,
product,
cementitious, yeah.
and when it's painted, it looks the same and it holds up.
Honestly,
well, too,
I think
so-
metal looks better with the design of your house,
Yeah,
as long as it's thick enough, the mill is thick enough, and it doesn't look wavy like a bad vinyl. And that would be I think that's the concern staff had. It's the concern I would have.
Okay.
Just because of you've spent so much time on the design of the house, it would be, the execution, as you know, is important, so.
Absolutely.
If it's, because there's good metal panels, there's good metal systems, and I think that's the concern I would have. I think metal matches the design of the house.
I do too.
Okay.
What is the attachment feature of the panel? Does it have any backing, any blocking?
Yes, it has clips and it has a backing girt system.
Okay.
Just the same way as the wood would be installed, or the synthetic products.
And the spacing of the clips and?
I believe they're a foot on center. I have,
Well, what's interesting is that there's, and I've forgotten the architect's name that built several houses in Lincolnwood and Skokie that has the really heavy eave line, and it was redwood. It was back in the mid-century turn, and this reminds me of that.
modern, approach.
Yeah, it reminds me of that. I've forgotten his name. It was a Polish surname. Did a lot of homes, and that's what reminded me of this. And he used a lot of redwood. In this case, I think metal is good. You have a material board?
It is a product called the Pack Clad that we have spec'd, and I have some samples of it, and we were planning to use it with the butt, and it's shaped, and so all the oil canning is out of it. It has a backing material. I'm sorry, it has a backing material on it, and it has a whole girt system for attaching it just as the wood would have. And so the house wrap and the waterproof membrane is behind it, and it would be built in a proper way.
I like it.
Okay, any other comments? Anyone else?
Windows, we have the side elevations.
And you're going for the flush profile?
No, flush.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
So do we have window concern?
I'm sorry?
Do you want to
There
look
are
at the
some-
windows?
if you had a window concern, and I would show you that we do have windows on all four sides of the building.
The south elevation looks a little barren.
Yes, I don't know if the neighbors are here in the south side. But what we're concerned about is our site is an open lot, as you can see, in between two buildings. And okay, so there you can see the existing site, and anyway, the next image shows our building, our new building inserted into that package.
So it's more or
That's
less
a different project.
serving as a privacy wall of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, that particular building, I have never seen it without 2 or 3 vehicles. In fact, right now, this one's sticking over onto our property. So I assume it's okay to park in your driveway, but,
On your property.
Oh.
Right.
And the dumpsters, I don't know, is that, I mean, we designed it so the dumpster would be in the garage, would come out when there's garbage pickup at that point. There's a little image of it set between the other 2 adjacent garage doors. So what we tried to do is space it there so there'd be lawn and planting, and so the 3 driveways would be sort of evenly spaced. The
Mhm.
house to the north, which is on the
Right.
right, has a bit of a side yard planting area, patio. And the house, and its garage is right there, and
Mhm.
the house to the south, its garage is right on the property line, just, right crazy.
So that south elevation is looking at the garage,
garage.
and it looks fairly close to the property line.
Yeah,
I don't have any issues with that.
I don't either. No.
There's the new building is the rectangle. It's a
Yeah,
64 by
yeah,
48.
that's
It
tight.
fits right in that package nicely inside.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With a nice garden in the back and front, with equal-sized gardens in the front on the Colmar side.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Did anybody else want to see the material board? Everybody happy with that?
Looks good.
Looks good. Rakshana, you okay with it?
Yeah, looks
Why
good.
don't you give us a motion then?
I make a motion that certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2022-33A located at 9020 Colmar Avenue as presented. And,
Second?
All in
The-
favor?
Aye.
yeah,
Aye.
no, I was just
Aye.
saying,
Any opposed?
yeah.
No opposed, so passed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Really
Can't wait-
excited to see
Can't wait
this
to
one.
see it.
Yeah.
The next case is. Sure. Right. The next case is 2022-037A at 7827 Keystone, a second floor addition. for Sam and Shaza Miller. Are they here? Going once, twice. All right, we'll bring it up at the end to see if they do show.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Sir?
Yes,
I'm a neighbor that came to make a comment
on,
on the 7827 Keystone. So
We
if they
haven't
don't
called
show
it, though.
up,
The case will be put, there won't be a vote, and the case will be automatically bumped to next month to give them one more chance to appear.
okay,
We'll re-notify them and let them know nobody appeared. Your case has been moved to the August
whatever the August date is.
Second week of August.
10th. They'll be given a chance to reappear. If we don't hear anything, et cetera, they'll be given a chance. If not, we put them on. If they don't appear, then the case gets thrown off the agenda until we rehear from them.
Okay.
So if they're back on next month, signs will be reposted and the neighbors on either side will be notified again. But we'll give them a chance to come if they're.
Thank you.
if you like.
Sorry to interrupt.
Not at all, ma'am. Okay, so the next case is case number 2022-039A at 9231 Kedvale, a first and second floor addition for Greg Weiler. Good evening.
Fire sprinklers will need to be installed throughout the entire house due to the size of the addition. Staff will verify if there are no underground utilities in vacated Lewis Terrace. The required front yard is not always 25 feet. If 60% of the interior lots have a setback other than the 25-foot requirement, then the front yard is the average of the neighboring two buildings. There is no issue if the addition stays in line with the existing setback. The applicants will need to verify the setbacks of all the buildings on that side of the block to see if 60% have a setback other than 25 foot. Staff objects to the look of the building. The building does not appear to meet the 51% minimum masonry requirement. Staff feels the attic area is too large compared to the rest of the house on multiple elevations. The south elevation appears to be all roof. The windows appear to be too small compared to the exterior walls.
Okay, so, the setback issue,
So the existing building's about 30 feet setback from the front lot line.
right?
And there's a provision in the ordinance for blocks like this, where if more than 60% of the homes on that side of the block from street to street have a setback other than the 25, and you have to hit that 60% threshold, then we average the front building setback to the north, the front building setback to the south. This is to prevent lots that traditionally have homes that are, say, 30, 32, 33 feet from one building coming up and sticking out 5, 6, 7, 8 feet.
Right.
Out from every other building on the block, or majority of them. So they're 3145, 3187. If they stay in line with the existing established setback, there's no issues. They are proposing to come out to about 25, I think it's 25 feet, so that's kind of the big concern, and then the design staff had the noted concerns.
Can I address the setback?
Oh, for sure.
concern really quick? There's the photograph here. The houses to the north along the block are all majority set forward of our house from that 31-foot mark, roughly 5.5 feet forward of where our property is, or the face of the existing house. So, and I don't know if I wasn't able to get this posted in time.
No,
to get
it's
deadline, but-
as part of the permit submittal, either a surveyor will have to come out or an architect stamping the plans with all the setbacks for the block to
Okay,
verify that that's 60%. If we don't hit it, then it's the 25-foot setback. So that's what we just need to see when the plans are submitted.
okay,
Whether it's a surveyor doing the block or an architect stamping it, they had somebody measure to the front lot line for majority and they hit it, and we'll verify we'll spot check some surveys we have to see if we're
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
So that's incumbent on the petitioner.
Yeah,
too.
the applicant's correct.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so the aesthetics comments are, the south elevation clearly shows a big roof because you have a big roof there. Up here.
Can I explain a little bit on
Please,
the
please,
idea
jump right
kind of
in.
behind this was, we wanted to create a space, with the amount of space that we wanted. However, we weren't as enamored with the idea of a large rectangular cube. So we were looking for something with a little more visual interest, than, while being able to add on to the existing house that we have now, rather than just doing a full-blown tear down. So, in doing that, we kind of shifted some of the living space, so that kind of that 2.5 story attic there is a living room that we basically, instead of having the space kind of directly above the garage, we wanted to shift it up. And the dormer faces on the garage and the entryway kind of play in and out from the existing face of the house and the addition, to kind of break up that facade as well.
Mhm.
So that was kind of the intent here, rather than having more of a cube or a rectangular shape to the design.
Yeah, I did look at the floor plan interior, and I understand why the skylights are where they are. They make sense, but that is a great big large expanse of roof that you would see. What is it shingled? Is it metal? Is it?
It'd be an asphalt shingle, a
Okay.
lighter tone. We didn't want to do something dark that attracted, a lot of heat. The idea here too was that we might have a potential landing spot for solar panels
Sure.
down the road.
It's a
But-
perfect spot for solar.
Yeah,
so,
we got the south face, and that was.
And as far as the roof goes, at least this is my opinion, you've got a wide lot, and it's that odd street that curves a little bit, so it's got a little jog in it that the setback, it's kind of weird over there.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did it in the first place, but they did. And the fact that the slope of your roof is abutting the neighboring house that's been used to having a lot of side yards. So I don't really see that as a big problem, because you're actually reducing the impact on the neighbor's yard. However, and nobody really sees it except them, because you're set back on that side and the curve of the road goes in
Yeah,
kind
there's-
of like that. So
And
you'd
even
have to really-
between, that neighbor to the south, the houses are almost, because the curve is so, like, such as it is, the houses are almost entirely offset, east and west from each other.
Yeah, and you've got an extra side setback, so you'd actually have to stand in their driveway or on their side yard to kind of see the.
Correct.
But I would recommend solar panels on that. It's, why not? You're
Yeah.
putting quite a bit of investment in this, and
Yeah.
now's the time to
certainly.
do it.
Right,
And you've got a perfect venue for something like that.
sure.
So, on that note, that's my opinion.
Thanks, Joe. What are the other materials? What does that elevation consist of?
So the existing house is brick. It's kind of a pink shade of brick that I'm
Mhm.
not a big fan of, to be honest. So what we're going to do is continue the brick around the addition all the way east, west, and south, and continue that all the way around on the first story level. The second story would be a Louisiana Pacific engineered board and batten type of
Okay.
siding material. Right now, to address the 51% masonry requirement, right now, we're at 46%. If there was a major objection to not meeting that 51% requirement, we were considering taking the gable face above the garage and extending the brick there. The color, we were looking at a couple lighter tones of gray to that, so I held up, you know, a beige. It would not be beige. It would
Okay.
be something more like this rendition here.
Right.
So the middle level and the upper level are the tan color
the
that
su-
you showed us?
No,
It'll
no
be
tan.
gray,
Yeah.
but it'll be a vertical board and batten.
A vertical board, and it's more gray.
Correct, yeah, not
Okay.
beige, not beige. This is just a sample, it'll be the material will be painted.
And the first floor is brick.
Correct,
Existing.
Okay.
yeah. So we'll match the coursing of the brick with the addition, and then we're gonna end up painting the brick as well. Just because, to make sure that we can match it, because it's a product from 1953, I'm just positive. It's kind of a weird rose pink that
Yeah,
I'm not really
I don't know
interested
that,
in matching.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
I don't know that extending the brick above the garage would help, frankly.
I don't like that idea, no.
And we're allowed to waive the 51% requirement if we agree. Yeah, are there any neighbors here? Okay. No, I don't see any problems with it. Does anyone else have any issues?
No,
Joe?
Of course I've got
Last,
comments.
last call?
Of course I've got comments. It's a really tall house, and there's a lot of ranches and split levels on this street. Granted, you're set back, and there's, you know, it's an odd street with a curve, but one of the issues I've got is that west facade, which is the front facade, there's a lot going on, and, which is fine. It's just that you know, with the brick on the bottom, you've got a roof line, and then you've got a lot of vertical going on that kind of accentuates the three-story height of the house. One of the easy solutions, depending on how the interior is designed in that office on the third floor, would be to put what would be a jerkin head or like a clipped corner on the top above the office window. Might bring it down a little bit. It might lessen the impact of all of that vertical siding. It's an easy solution that I think I'm not sure, it's hard to tell how it would look, but it's an idea, given that you've got a lot of front facade. And
Sure.
it is a unique street, and it's, the houses are all small and, you know, little rectangles.
And to that end, one of the things that we tried to do too, because we've been planning this for a while, was just where the house sits, this particular one being on the end of that particular row of ranches, and with the additional 33 feet of side yard, was just trying to keep in mind that we were not trying to extend out to lot lines and you know, max out the actual setback. We're quite a ways in on the north, the south, and the east side. So just try not to impose on the neighbors as much as possible, not trying to loom over them. It is tall, but the idea with the roof slope and how we're setting back as we are, we're just trying to maintain, you know, visual appeasement, so it wasn't
Sure.
just towering over.
Brian, are
adjacent
there any
neighbors.
photos?
What about that wood over the door? I think that could be flat
Yeah, or open,
or open, yeah, not a sided
yeah.
finish.
So you're talking on above the entryway?
Yeah.
In that area,
yeah,
I think
there's-
it is open, I believe, and
And
you're
you see
seeing the actual
through it?
siding,
Okay,
correct,
alright.
at the garage. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little tricky to
Okay.
visualize.
Is that the existing house or the neighbors?
That's the existing house.
I remember that one that was sold. It was a mess.
Yeah, see, there's the curve of the road.
Yeah, I believe it's two different subdivisions that kind of butted up against each other.
Yeah.
I believe that's why it's like that.
Yeah, so even the windows on the neighboring house to the south are completely offset west
just
of
so odd
the
how it's
entirety of
placed here,
our
honestly.
house.
Yeah,
To
that
begin
whole,
with.
that whole street is.
Neighbor to the south?
Correct.
Okay. Mhm.
this is the window product we're gonna be using, is a Marvin Elevate series.
Very nice.
Julie, any other comments?
No, I know it's a weird little street.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a lot of construction on Cadville in that block and a half. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing something with it. It's been kind of a lonely, sore spot there for a long time.
Yeah. The other thing too is on the back, on the east side, there's a frame addition that's kind of a total piece of junk. We're gonna take that off and return it to backyard space
Good
as
idea.
well. It's nice having the space, but it leaks and it's
Right.
kind of an eyesore too.
Okay. Any other comments?
It seems like the house would look better if it had more brick, the whole lower part, if the whole lower part were brick. And if there were a lot of landscaping, especially, I think, on the left side.
Yes, and the entire lower portion will be brick. I know there's no texture to the, on the existing house. But it will be all brick on the first floor.
Okay.
And the intention is in front of the little bit of porch area that'll be added on in front of the existing house would be to add landscaping in front, to add a little bit of.
It should be more on the right side, but generally, if landscaping would soften the sharp lines of the house.
Sure.
Is the garage wall also brick?
Yes. Yeah, correct.
Are you gonna be able to match the existing, or?
I took a dimension on the brick.
You
I've-
can't.
I've got to check.
It's cement, it's
So-
concrete brick, I've got the
Same
same kind of
color.
brick.
Oh, yeah, you know what
I noticed your house a while back,
Yeah,
I think your daughter or somebody used chalk on a brick once. I
Yes.
was walking down the street and I
That
was
was,
looking,
that was a
again.
pandemic thing. We did a lot of coloring
And
on the
I
walls.
have that cement brick or concrete brick too, and that's why I noticed it. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe I could do that.
Yeah. And that's one of the
Thinking about
ideas.
staining it.
Yeah, just painting it, because it's,
There's no way you can match it, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
No.
So,
Got it.
yeah.
I do have a question about, if everyone's done.
Go ahead.
The window in bedroom 3, which is just above the front door,
Yes.
it looks like there's a conflict with the eave of the roof, and I'm just kind of curious how that's resolved.
There is, I don't know the architectural term for it, but there's gonna be basically a notch
A
made.
roof recess.
Yeah, to allow the window to be able to open. These will be casement windows. But that will be addressed as far as being able to open the window for full, venting and things. So there's gonna be some flashing that, within that 90-degree nook, to make sure that water's draining, away and not seeping into the framing
Want
and
to pay
things.
attention to that when
Yeah.
it's built.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Is there any way to use the same size window on the first floor, which is a little bit narrower, on what's the primary bedroom 1 and bedroom 3, to mimic the size of that window on the first floor and avoid the conflict and avoid the flashing and the construction issue?
Those look taller on the lower
Well,
level.
the width,
Yeah,
it's the proportion, I'm
Yeah.
kind of thinking, because one of the things that kind of concerned me, and again, about the height, is that the windows are bigger on the second floor than they are on the first floor. There's vertical, and then you've got the third floor, which is peaked, and you got a window in it, which brings your eye up, and it just makes everything look heavy on top. If you went with a narrower window, you'd still be able to center it in your primary bedroom, which is the middle window, and you might be able to make that work without having that notch, and not only the construction cost, but for your own benefit,
The aggravation
having
on the
all of
road.
that flashing and that kind of weird little
Yeah.
detail.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way that can be avoided. That is something that I notice when I walk by and I see a house, because when you're walking from the north-south, I'll see it. I don't know about any, maybe there will be a few people that do notice that, and one of them would be a home inspector. But if you did something like that, you might be able to get away with it. You've got that's a 5'4" window. And on the first floor, those windows, let me just bear with me here for a second, because it's kind of a big deal, at least in my opinion.
Well, and making that a single casement adds a little more symmetry to the second floor as well. Matching the one on the opposite side. So it might kill two birds with one stone, eliminate the notch and your roofing issues.
No, there it is, I'm sorry.
What color are the windows?
They'll be white,
They'll be white.
yeah.
I'm looking for the first floor, I'm sorry, there it is.
The trim will be white and the window frames will be white, kind of more
Okay.
per this rendering.
Okay.
You don't have dimension on the first floor window, rats.
I'm trying to think, because the two first floor windows are basically utilizing the existing window opening and
Okay.
just
I see.
taking out brick to extend vertically to get them more open.
Yeah. You might be able to avoid that little roof issue, which I think will save you a lot of headache.
Okay, I can look into it
By
and
narrowing
see.
it up and maybe matching the opening on the first
Yeah,
floor.
I think there was something with, okay.
Joe, looking at the floor plan, the bedroom elevations, would a single, smaller, narrower window work in terms of centering in?
I understand why you'd want to have a double window in a bedroom. See, that's the roof access there is the issue, and I don't know.
Or, the roof recess.
Yeah. Right.
It would solve the facade issue, to me, because the windows would be a little bit smaller. They'd match the downstairs. They wouldn't be bigger than the first floor. And to me, it would make the second floor not look as imposing. It would kind of bring everything down a little bit, because right now it looks heavy on top.
Okay.
So rather than doing a jerkin head or a clip end, the other thought would be to widen the horizontal above between the second and third floor to match the
The
first
band.
floor. The band, you've got an eave you've got your eave, and then you've got a narrower. If you look at the front facade, it's honestly, if you want to do a roof recess, I don't have an issue with it. It just seems like there's got to be a solution to a complex problem like that. But if you go to the front facade,
Yeah.
see, those windows are a little bit bigger, and then that eave where you've got 9231, your address on it, that's an 8-inch fascia, is it? I don't see it. It looks wider than the second floor, that band above the second floor windows. If you widen that, I think it might bring it down a little bit, rather
I see.
than
Wider.
screwing around.
To
Yeah.
bring up, I think it's something to do with how it matches, I think, with some of the soffit around the corner to the north. I think
Yeah.
is where that band is kind of lined up.
So anyways,
Those look like a very big,
Well,
it's an improvement.
agreed.
Just-
Joe, feel up for a motion?
I've made a lot of comments. I haven't heard a lot of agreements on my comments. So I'm a little apprehensive, because what I would like to ask for is a wider,
Second floor
horizontal
band.
second
Yeah.
floor band.
It would be a better balanced, I think, to break it up a little.
Yeah, that is the idea.
You know what, the second floor windows, it's something that I'd like you to take a look at, but I don't, from an appearance, from us, I don't have a problem, I guess, with it, but I would like to see a wider band. And I'm just kind of going through this before we,
Right, go ahead.
And just so I'm clear, I'm sorry, the depth on the band above the second floor windows?
Yeah,
Okay.
to match the first,
Match the
the
first,
first floor.
okay.
And what I'm trying to do is kind of bring down the mass of, and I'm not sure,
Yeah.
it's a big mass, and it's a lot of vertical siding. And it's, you know, it's a big house on a kind of a normal, or a typical Skokie
Would a
Street.
band above the window, Joe, work?
Yeah, that's what
Wider
I'm saying.
band.
Wider
Yeah,
band.
No, an additional band above the top window.
Oh,
Well, I think it's already
then you
busy.
Yeah.
You know, that's why if you brought the roof down, but that's kind of a big ask.
Okay.
But I think that was it. Again, if, I'd encourage solar as well, because you're putting a big investment in, might as well get a lot of that stuff started now. And, we can't force that, but it makes perfect
No,
sense.
it's definitely the intention. Timing-wise, it may not happen right away,
But you
to
could
be
put in
honest,
you
but
could put in the infrastructure for
I
it,
see,
or,
yeah. I know electric
Electrical.
vehicle charging was definitely in
Electric.
the cards for
Yeah.
the garage as well.
Yeah. So if everybody's okay with that, I moved that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number, where are we? 2022-039A, located at 9231 Kedvale, with the addition of a second floor vertical band above the windows that
Horizontal.
horizontal band, thank you, that mimics the eave line
The
between the
fascia,
first and second
yeah.
floor.
Mm-hmm. That would help.
Anyone second?
I'll second that.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay.
Take a look
One, two,
at
three,
this,
four,
and
five, one.
that recess should
Um,
be happy.
Yeah.
The motion is carried. Thank you. Good
Thank
luck.
you. Appreciate it. Sorry, that was.
No, you did fine. The next case is case number 2022-040A at 145 or 1045 Laverne Avenue, a first floor addition for Almir Hanid. Are they here? Welcome.
The proposed open covered porch appears to encroach into the required parking space on the side of the house. The required parking space must be 16 feet deep behind the front wall of the house. Staff has no objections to the mudroom addition on the other side of the house.
So were you able to address the comments?
Yes,
Okay.
the parking lot on the north side of the house where the kitchen entrance is, there's a stamp. And actually, we don't park the car there. So that's why we decided to build that little like a porch, with a
Mhm.
little roof, just to prevent the rain and snow getting inside the kitchen while we open the door. So I have pictures, I took the pictures on my cell phone where actually you could see the stamp and front door.
So
And
there's a stoop on the north side of the house, so if they keep the stoop the same size and roof it over, that's fine. They won't be able to expand further in to the side yard. Technically, the parking space is not in the front yard, it's on the side yard, but there is a stoop there. There are some older homes that do have a stoop, a step into the parking space, into the driveway, which is not uncommon for late 50s, early 60s homes. So if they maintain the same size stoop with the columns, then it won't be an issue, because that stoop does exist. He clearly showed me. So as long as the
Yes.
stoop is staying the same size, and then this could be roofed over, because you're not gonna be parking and driving up on the stoop.
No.
So if this roof covers the same size as the existing stoop, that's fine. There's no issues then.
Is that your intention?
yes, the only thing my concern is that stoop, I would like to replace it with a new one, like.
That's
put a new
fine, same
column.
size as the
Yes.
existing.
Completely
Okay.
fine. don't make it any bigger.
No, no.
With the roof and the columns,
need
they're gonna
it.
have to replace it, because they're gonna need either foundation, wing wall,
Yes.
something
Sure.
underneath there.
Sure. That's it?
That's
Other
the
side.
other side.
Okay. Step in mudroom addition on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay, on the mudroom, materials are, is it brick, is it siding?
It's gonna be a siding. It's gonna be a matching siding with the rest of the house and matching roof.
Okay. All right. Who hasn't made a motion yet?
I could do that.
Julie?
Sure.
Thank you.
I make a motion that a certificate of appropriateness be granted in case 2022-040A at 10045 Laverne Avenue as presented.
Any second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? No opposed? So passed.
Thank you so much.
Have
Thank you.
fun. It'll look great. It'll look great.
Congratulations, thank you. Okay, before we go into the commercial cases, we passed over a couple. 2022-032A at 5248 Arcadia, did they ever show? No? And 2022-037A at 7827 Keystone. Going once, twice, that's it, thank you. The next case is, yes, 2022-035A at 7340 Monticello for Hester Decorating Company, a new facade or remodeled facade.
Staff has concerns with the canopy and new material. Staff would prefer a flat canopy with tiebacks over the proposed box-type canopy and a more industrial look than the hardy plank lap siding.
Good evening.
So I have a question. I'm Jeff Hester. So what is a more industrial look?
So that's the existing. Oops, sorry. So staff preferred a brick, a different material other than hardy plank siding.
Well, right now it's ephes, so that's falling apart.
So, the
Use
photos,
metal?
I'm sorry, could you go back to the photos, Brian?
Could use metal. Yeah, ephes is definitely a problem.
Yeah, it's ephes. It's not good.
Bad.
And the windows are old and need to be replaced.
All right, so that's existing there?
Mm-hmm. And there is a roof with the triangle. There's a
Alright.
building exactly, they just did it last year. It looks exactly like what we're proposing, 2 blocks away to the west, but it's brown rather than a gray. But it's exactly the same look.
Did
Okay.
staff have any ideas? Did they look
I don't
that
know
out?
which building it is.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
that's a
for
rendering
material.
of the proposed we're looking at then?
Yeah.
Okay, and could you walk us through materials there?
Sure, this is a sample right here of the gray hardy board that's going to be used.
Okay,
And then right above the front door there, this is Ipe wood, which is going to be on the top there
More
above.
wood and gray. I don't have a problem with that.
and I don't see any signage at present that'll be submitted later?
Yeah.
I presume?
yes, yeah.
Okay,
It'll be metal, lit metal. And the,
Same tenant or different new tenant?
no, it's us again.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's the regular sign permit after.
sure,
Right.
sure.
And the Ipe eventually will gray. So it'll become a lighter shade.
Yeah, right now this is,
You know, it won't look brown. It'll turn like a lighter shade of gray. So it'll kind of accent the darker gray siding.
I don't have a problem with that. You think it looks more residential and it's wood? I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I kind of like it.
The Ipe is a great addition to it. Is there gonna be any color, so that you've got a pewter lap siding,
Mhm.
and then you've got the natural wood, and where's your sign going, on the Ipe?
On the Ipe, yes.
And what color is that gonna be?
It's probably gonna be like a stainless steel backlit.
Oh, okay,
stainless
so it'll be
steel.
backlit, and so
Mhm.
you've got stainless steel. Is there gonna be any color anywhere, like address or something? You can add a
Fedora
cool
glass.
color somewhere.
I wasn't planning on it.
No lighting? What direction is that?
I understand why you've got, it's kind of it's an interesting neighborhood over there.
Yeah, it's very run down.
It's all, it could be, it doesn't have.
Hodgepodge.
It's hodgepodge.
Yes.
I understand what they're asking for, because it's mostly brick, and it's mostly more industrial style buildings and
Mhm.
everything else. I don't have a problem with the lab siding, because it's a dark color, and the Ipe kind of brings it back to
Newer?
what it
All
is.
updated,
An
yeah.
industrial neighborhood. Especially with a backlit sign. I think that's
Right.
gonna make it, you're not gonna really see the siding much. The landscape in front of that, in front of the,
So, yeah, we are planning on putting, in front of the windows, a lower, like planter boxes, like in front, just loose, like,
and it's paved now.
yes,
paved
it's
up
all,
to-
yeah, it's all
up to the
paved
edge.
now, yes.
So you'll do planter boxes.
Correct, correct.
Taupier is fine too.
Just add some color, that's where the color will come in.
Yeah, okay.
you know.
Just gotta water it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Needs landscaping, yeah, Mary Jane.
And the top is the lap siding all the way up to the top? Is it gonna be a thin board horizontally on top of the parapet, or how are you handling the top edge?
Basically, it'll get finished off with something.
So the hardy system, there's a couple of different ways you can do that.
There's a couple ways of doing it, but it'll be some finished in a hardy, so it'll come back and cap it.
Okay. Might
Wait.
wanna consider a little different color on that.
Did you say
Just to
you are
kinda jazz
putting
it up,
landscaping in
but-
front?
But it's not a big deal.
Maybe even,
If it's,
maybe even the
it
same
could be-
material.
It could
What is it?
simply be.
Like freestanding planters, nothing
Oh,
stainless.
freestanding
something.
planters.
Right, right.
That would be cool.
Run around.
Yeah,
on the
actually,
front.
that would be really cool.
Like a stainless, like we'll make the sign through a stainless on top.
Trim.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hardy's got all of that.
They have all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's okay with me.
Why wouldn't you just put a border, in front, below the windows, and put plants there instead of using planters?
A border, like build them in?
Right now, it's paved.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
paved.
it's paved.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, I
Yeah,
didn't hear that. So that's why you would have a planter and everything would be in it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Tom, any other?
Color of the windows?
Which what
Windows? Color?
color are they?
It'll be something to match.
Like a light gray.
It'll be a lighter gray.
Black.
It won't be a white or black. It'll be something like, to run with it.
Like a light gray.
So kind of like hiding, like
Yeah.
same as the wall.
Yeah.
Blend in.
Black would be preferred, but that's more expensive. Bronze would probably be the best choice.
With a nice walnut trim on the top.
Really? Okay.
Brown might be really nice. Like a bronze would be
Yeah,
pretty.
bronze would look cool.
Be very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you can have some band over the window with the same material like you have on the canopy?
Somewhat.
Bring some Ipe into under the windows, are you saying?
Over the window, like a band, which
You want a
horizontal
band?
I just think a different color window would be really
Horizontal
pretty.
band,
And you don't
horizontal
need any
band
other
over the
bands.
window on top, yeah.
a continuous band across the tops of windows?
No, not just over the window, and match with the canopy material that you have.
So then would you go all the way around it or just at the bottom?
No, just the top of the, like,
So just build like a little
They wanna
three,
do
just like a
like
3
a
or 4
three,
inches.
yeah, a piece on
a
top
band,
of it.
Yeah,
So it'll kind of match that, just smaller.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it.
I don't know.
I'm not crazy about that
You're
idea.
okay with that? No?
I think bronze windows would look really gorgeous there. You want those bronze windows.
I mean, it might add some dimension to the kind of flat.
To the, yeah.
I think that would steal away from the modern
Yeah. Yeah.
look that you're going for here. Frankly, I think you're gonna get some relief when you get the windows in. They're not shown right now. If they're black or dark bronze, they'll pop a little bit out of there. So that'll give the appearance
Oh,
of
okay.
some depth that you might be looking for.
Yeah,
And I
that-
think, to your point, I think it's a good one, but the planters, if they're made out of the Ipe, or the leftover Ipe.
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever
true.
you've got,
That can
That
help
would
to,
be,
yeah.
that would bring that color in.
Color.
Below the windows and
Yeah, a
everything.
couple of
Yeah,
them,
that's-
The
it's,
achievement you wanted.
and
Yeah.
you've got the material, it would be easy to build.
Mhm.
It's not a big deal, and plus it would give you that dimension, that kind of,
That,
that third
look,
dimension
yeah.
you're looking for.
All
Yeah,
right.
agree
that
with
can
that.
help, yeah.
Any other comments? Jay, okay with it?
Yeah.
All right. Archana,
Yeah.
your turn.
I make a motion that certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number 2022-35A located at 7340 Monticello Avenue, as presented with with the idea of having planters in front, matching with the Ipe
Window color
window color.
changed.
Anyone second?
I'll second that.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. All right, the next case is case number 2022-036A at 9435 Skokie Boulevard. Exact address to be determined
It's between two.
for KF Skokie LLC, a commercial new bank with drive-through.
Yeah,
Staff
they-
has,
They basically threw this case in under the, I don't know if it's Old Navy or
it's between,
Marshall's store. I'll show you the
between
site plan.
Okay.
This address is currently used by another tenant.
Address to be determined.
Address to be determined.
Right.
We like to mix it up a little bit here.
Okay.
staff has no objections with the proposed elevations and design of the building.
Okay.
So the existing Jewel is around here. I forget what is it Old Navy to the
Marshalls and no, maybe
Marshalls?
is it in the
Yeah.
middle? Is it between the two?
No, it's at the corner.
No, it's at the corner.
Oh, Old Navy's at the
Skokie
corner.
and Emerson. So this is actually at the corner. So straight across the street to the west of here is Portillo's.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
this will be on the northeast corner of Emerson and Skokie Boulevard. The new bank right there. The parking lot gets changed around.
So that lot is going away. To the west of Navy. Is the gonna be
No,
a
it's,
bank.
it's to the west of Old Navy. That's up here. This will be at the southeast corner. This will be at the southwest corner of the lot. The actual corner of this intersection.
Southwest corner. Okay. Okay.
I believe that it's currently just parking lot
Yes.
It is
right
just
now.
parking lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So it is taking part of that parking lot. That's there now.
Correct.
Well, that's just the floor plan.
Boy, that parking's gonna be tight.
East elevation facing the parking lot. North elevation facing a parking lot and southbound Skokie Boulevard traffic. West elevation facing Skokie Boulevard and Portillo's. South elevation facing towards Emerson and I believe Chick-fil-A-ish.
Ish, yeah. Can you take us through the materials, please?
Sure. What we're proposing is all masonry building, so we have a dark brick. It's called Midnight Black. It's not quite pure black. That's the main bulk of the lower portion of the building, the main building. And then the entry tower is a platinum brick, which is kind of a gray brick for the entry tower. And then on the back end of our building where we have our back of house spaces, it would be a limestone colored cast stone. So again, solid masonry, not adhered veneer. And then we do what we call our little jewel box. I believe that's on the south elevation where we do an ACM panel in a silver color. So that's on the south elevation
Right.
in the left
Got it.
corner.
Mhm.
So that's a silver aluminum composite material panel that creates that. And storefront color is black, canopy is black, and signage would be on the building, but that'll be a separate approval process.
So,
Air conditioning, is that on the roof?
this doesn't look like your typical Chase
No.
branding. Are they changing, or?
Well, this is the new general color scheme for Chase for the
Okay.
last couple of years.
Ah.
So, yeah, this is a new prototype. This is the usually we put Nichiha panels for the majority of the building, but with the all masonry need, we have a complementary brick that's a similar tone to the Nichiha fiber cement panels we would have used on a standard prototype building.
And the glazing is clear, or?
The glazing is mostly clear, so on this view, on the east elevation, you'll see in that main block of darker brick, we've got some spandrel window area.
Right.
That's our back of house area, so
Mhm.
that's where we've got our tellers and we've got our cash chest, and it's, the windows are there to look like windows with spandrel glazing, but we don't want to put actual clear windows
Right.
in that area
Of course,
for our floor plan.
of course.
And then on the, if you could scroll down, please, the next elevation down, we do have a little bit of spandrel glazing on the one pane, because of where it falls on the floor plan.
Mhm.
Otherwise, the two windows to the right would be clear glazing.
Got it.
And then I believe the other two elevations are they're almost entirely all clear glazing. You just have one more little bit of spandrel on the
Right.
west elevation there.
Right.
Did someone ask
Okay.
about rooftop units?
Yeah, is there air conditioning on top?
Oh, yes, the air conditioning unit would be on top, so where the cast stone is, the lighter tan colored stone, that's our low roof area. So we do a low roof, high roof. You have to put it in air quotes, not really a high roof, but a lower roof and a higher roof. And we put the RTU unit on the lower roof. The parapets are tall enough to cover the top of it, so standing from the ground, you would not see the rooftop unit or any of the condensers.
Okay.
Does this provide for two drive-in drive-in
Um,
areas?
we have
Where is it driving in on here?
The drive-in is remote
Okay.
from the building,
Okay.
and we are proposing 2 ATMs at that drive-through.
Okay.
And then we do have we're proposing to use our standard canopy, which is again the silver ACM band at the top to create the roof, and then just some simple steel posts, painted steel posts to make the legs of the canopy. So to make it very light and airy, I believe there you go, there it is.
Sure. Okay. Comments? Anyone?
Are there trees or any kind of plantings or plants?
Oh, absolutely.
Of course.
Gotta ask.
I don't know if the landscape plan is part of this, but that might be near the end of the.
Right over there now.
This is
Yeah,
Maryland Planning Commission.
I know. It's a.
I thought we
how
had
it
a
looks.
preliminary landscape plan, but yes, there would be plantings and grass. We typically do ground plantings around the foundation plantings around the building, and then trees as required in the islands and along the street.
Yeah, planning will check that as part of, plan commission.
Mhm.
There'll
Sure.
have to be an approved landscape plan
Yeah.
with the plan commission and village board
Okay.
submittal.
Sure.
Is this by the Performing Arts Center?
I do
To
not
the
know that.
south.
I'm not familiar enough with Skokie to be able
South.
to say that.
Oh, it's
It
near
is,
the Jewel?
Right.
Okay,
It's closer.
Old
to-
Navy,
no,
Jewel.
Old Navy,
okay.
yeah.
Here, I'll show you the exact spot if you give me 1 minute.
I think Bank of America is there.
There's a Bank of, yeah, there's Bank of America.
It's on the other side of the street.
Yes, there is a Bank of America across
Yeah.
the street.
And there's a
It is
Citibank
on south side.
also.
What?
Bank of America is there,
Oh,
and
it's
I think
right-
they are on north side, and Bank of America is on south side.
Oh, okay.
3 banks.
Oh, that's a pretty picture.
Mm-hmm, right there.
Portillo's, this part of the parking lot.
Right.
Oh,
Mm-hmm,
Oh, so the Old Navy is just across there.
a little bit, it's right
Jewel,
there.
Culver's,
Jewel.
Old Navy,
Old
what's Old
Navy.
Navy and Marshalls?
Marshalls, yes.
Right.
This corner right here. So it will, so this intersection will have 4 corners of buildings.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And our building will be closer to the street, similar to the one directly across
Right.
Skokie, the
Mhm.
Portillo's.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much traffic, though, as Portillo's.
Okay. Any other comments? Jay,
I don't
Okay.
know, should I make the motion?
please.
Okay. I make the motion that certificate of appropriateness to be granted for case number 2022-036A 9435 Skokie Boulevard as presented.
Second.
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 All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with the project. Okay. That was that one. The next case is 2022-038A at 7300 Linder for ML Realty Partners and Mike Hartel, an industrial facade.
Staff has no objections with the proposed elevations.
Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So this is the building. Elevation changes in this area?
Yeah, the middle of the east elevation. Because the north portion of the east elevation, they've already redone the storefront, so we're simply gonna match that storefront for a portion of the building. Yeah, so currently on the lower right picture, that's the storefront that was replaced under a separate permit by a different construction build-out. And to the left, you can see it's just old industrial windows that are about 4 feet above grade that go up to about 10 feet. So we're gonna remove those industrial grade windows, remove the brick down below, and then reinstall a storefront and a brick pier, storefront, brick pier, storefront, brick pier, easy for me to say, to match what was done to the right of the existing entry vestibule. We'll salvage the brick, reuse the brick. And it'll get me on all the architectural landmark magazines, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, thank you for matching the existing.
Yeah. They wanted to do the whole facade, but, finance has gotten in the way, so.
Understood. Any comments, any objections? No? Mary Jane, feel up to it?
Okay. I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted to case 2022-038A at 7300 Linder Avenue as presented.
Anyone second?
Second.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed, so passed. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night. Brian, get you put a picture, a face with the telephone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay, next case is 2022-026A at 7720 Austin Avenue for Duru Vidicon, a new industrial building.
Staff has concerns with the overall design and recommends brick preferred or creative application of split-face masonry units. This project will also require a review of existing special use permit number 565, either through the full Plan Commission review process or a modified review process through the village board.
This
Okay.
is their second time on the agenda this year and the second time that they have not appeared.
Okay.
Oh,
They
they
paid,
are
they
here.
paid the fees, they were supposed to be on the May or June meeting, did not appear. I spoke with them and I emailed one of the owner, his wife, and mentioned you have to appear, this is the upcoming meeting date, and I know
Okay.
Brenda sent out emails and mailings to everybody.
Okay.
So let's move on.
Well, let's move right on then. The final case of the night then is 2022-041A at 5440 Toohey Avenue. Exact address is to be determined for Trust 17767, new mixed-use building.
Staff has no concerns with the overall design. This project will also require zoning map amendment, site plan approval, and subdivision dedication reviews through the Plan Commission. The cases are scheduled for Thursday, August 4th, 2022, meeting agenda. However, the timing is also dependent on the pending ordinance amendments to the B4 Regional Shopping Zoning District.
Good,
Good evening.
good evening, Commissioners. We'll do some introductions and then like to point out one labeling correction with our submission, if that's all
Sure,
right.
sure.
My name is Braden Lord. I'm a land use attorney with Elrod Friedman LLP. We're the land use counsel for the applicant developers, the proposed Toohey Linder project. I'm here with two architects from our design team at Fitzgerald Associates, Mike DeRowan and Keith Lee. I'll leave the details to your questions, but just to flag the headline statements about the development. The development consists of 3 buildings, 2 mixed-use buildings with.
Excuse me, one sec, here, I just want to get them familiar with the site first.
Oh.
So that's the McDonald's on Toohey, Linder, Nile Center Carpenter at that point, Carpenter down here, Toohey, Village Crossing Shopping Center, existing building that I believe TrueLink used to be in, and 2 other, so it's these 3 buildings, this spot right here.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a large site, we're not talking one small parcel.
Sure.
Yes.
All right, let's get,
It's a 6 parcel site.
which one?
It's within B Lord, and then that just cobbled together some of the design sheets from our submissions so that they're easier to flip amongst. So the development will include 3 buildings, 2 mixed-use buildings with residential units and retail space, 1 freestanding commercial building that might be usable as a cannabis dispensary. We'll likely market it that way. A landscaped street-level courtyard between the 2 larger mixed-use buildings that will be completely open to the public. An outdoor dining area along Toohey Avenue outside of the westernmost mixed-use building. This one, you can see that outdoor dining area. This mixed-use building on the western side and the freestanding commercial building that might be used as a cannabis dispensary are part of phase 1 of the project. The second mixed-use building on the east side of the site will be our phase 2.
So phase 1 on the west here, phase 2 there.
And then there's one minor error, just want to disclose it so that you act on the correct proposal with 2 pages of our submission. And if you go to the 8th and 9th page of this packet, you'll see the highlighted information in the bottom corner there. this page is the Phase 2, Level 2 plan as shown here. And then the slide after it is the, if you go to 9, is the Phase 2, Level 3 plan. Those were mislabeled as, one second, the Phase 2, Level 1 site plan on both of those sheets. This accurately conveys what they are. None of the substance of these levels changed. But anyway, Scrivener's error disclosed. I will turn things over to the architects, I think, for most of your questions.
Thank you.
Feel free, guys.
Go ahead, Keith. Keith's our project designer. He's been leading all the design work on this, so he can certainly lead you through all the details.
Sure.
So it's a 7-story building, about approximately 500 units. But we're also providing about 1.5 parking space per 1 unit, with retail on the ground floor. We're looking for, as when point out, for the phase 1, we're looking for maybe a large F&B. So we're proposing could be possibly some outdoor dining here. And then also the total retail would be over 25,000. So the project we are promoting a lifestyle living apartment building here. So since it's located just right across the street from the village crossing, so shopping, restaurants will be all within walking distance. So it's kind of a trend of encouraging more healthy, active living that people can walk instead of taking the car everywhere. But we also have a center courtyard between the two bases of building, which can be a good location for community and the public together, or like retail user to use those space there. On top of that, for the residents, they will have their own private courtyard on top of the parking podium. The building, as you can see, we have total 7-story. There will be 3-story of concrete podium, which will be the retail and the parking, and then the upper 4 stories will be residential. So that private courtyard that I mentioned will be on top of the top concrete podium. And the material that we propose for the elevation for the ground floor will be brick and metal panels, and the upper floors will be mainly fiber cement panels. We make use of the combination of the red fiber cement panel and the darker one to help break down the massing. And also we're introducing some larger windows in the corner and also in the interval with the balcony. Also that will help to break down the massing of the building. At the corner of that courtyard, we have a third material cover off-white brick material to flank the entrance. Again, to just help become like a gateway idea to the building. And also on the Linda side, we'll have a similar language that kind of signifies where the residential entry will be. As you see on the left-hand side, that off-gray brick material. On the ground floor, there will be the residential drop-off and residential lobby entries there.
Brian, could you go back to the elevation, or the rendering that shows phase 1 and 2 side by, that's the one. That'll work. So the previous one we just saw, if you would, back to the previous one, that one. So that corner there is shown above, right? The larger one on the bottom is just one of the buildings that's shown on the top. So that's the corner I'm looking at, correct?
Yep.
This is this, right?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, north.
And the one on the left is phase 1.
And the one on the left is phase 1, phase 2.
Indeed.
To follow.
Correct, exactly.
Sure.
They are designed to be complementary to one another and in some way mirror.
Mirror image, right, okay. All right.
I have a question. Do you have balconies on the interior?
Oh, facing
So
the
they
inside
face
corner.
that courtyard
Yeah,
area for
there
each
will
building?
be, just at that time of the submission, we haven't get to develop that part, but there will be balconies on the units over there as well.
Mm-hmm, okay.
Do you have a
Fenestration as well.
3D view of the inside, like the courtyard view?
We don't.
You don't?
No, the best way we could show it is actually on the floor plan.
Do you have a landscape plan that goes with this?
Yes,
Yes, we do. We'll-
it's page 19 of that, yep.
So
Oh,
this,
yeah,
this
I
plan
see.
shows how we're intending to lay out the apartments that face inside the courtyard. And as Keith said, we haven't decided which ones will get balconies. The general intention for the developer is to put them in all the two-bedroom units and about half of the one-bedroom units.
And that's amenity spaces, the courtyard
Correct.
is
So that's
an
what
amenity
Keith was talking
space.
about, at the third floor,
Top of
where
the
the
garage.
elevators, come out, there's a
Sure.
spot there where we can exit into the courtyard. And that'll be a landscaped area, for outdoor dining, lounging,
No
active
pools.
play.
Sure.
There hasn't been any discussion about a pool. We're not thinking about that for this project, but the other kinds of things that you would expect to see in the outside.
That's a,
Grill.
that's a good idea of having a central courtyard here.
Yeah, yeah.
You
No, it'd be
hardly
a really
see
great
here,
space for people to be able to enjoy themselves and get to know the neighborhood.
And, I'm sorry, now, is there a landscape plan that
There is.
you can talk about?
It's slide 19. It's runs from 19 to 21. We can start with 19.
Oh.
Okay.
So there are a number of large existing trees that are on the site. Because of some of the roadway configuration that we've had to work out with IDOT, we're gonna lose some of those trees. They're expanding the right turn lane, not only for entrance into this,
Very nice.
they're lengthening it, but there's also a bus stop in the middle of our site. Now the bus stop's gonna move to the west side of the signalized intersection that goes across to the village crossing site. And then that's gonna extend all the way to the far west end of the site. So many of those mature trees are going to be removed, but we will be replacing them all with everything you see here. So we're probably adding twice as many trees as what we're taking down. But they're old or mature trees right now that are gonna be taken down. So we're adding back, probably, like I said, about twice as many. We are planning for the outdoor dining, we definitely want a landscape around that. Right, it's a great sound buffer, it's a great visual buffer from the activity that's on to it. So that's the intention with our landscape plan, and there is a detailed, plant list in our package, but I am not a landscape architect, and I am a black thumb with my own landscaping, so I will do my best to answer your questions about, what trees and shrubs and whatnot they're working on.
Well, I think
This
we
page 9.
received something about that.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you should have one.
It's not the typical planting schedule or tree schedule we get for a new house or an addition.
No, we'd have to study it.
Pretty extensive,
It's a
yeah.
plan for a botanical garden.
Yeah, but it will have a very wide range, and we've worked with Site Design Group, on a lot of our projects. They're outstanding landscape architects.
Did you say it's
You work
500?
with-
I'm sorry.
Site Design Group is the name
Oh,
of the
right,
landscape firm.
okay.
Did you say it's 500 units with the two buildings, or just in each?
494 in total.
Total?
Yeah.
From a site design, I really like it. I like how you've lined up the proposed entrance to the garage with the village center across the street. I think that's a great, from urban design, I think it's really, really cool. And I like the covered areas between the sidewalk and the building in the front. Is that gonna be part of the design? And that's gonna happen? Excellent, because I think it's really important, because TUI is kind of, it's gonna help with getting a user in there. Balconies, are those plexiglass, or is that, what Or is it a typical balcony? What,
That's a good question. We haven't explored that yet, but yeah, we're open to,
So plexiglass I know wouldn't be usable,
No.
Okay.
but, they're typically metal.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, because
Sorry, metal and glass.
the drawings, they're white, and then this shows it's kind of like a reflective surface, so I was wondering. It's a cool looking building. There's a lot of elements of it. It looks really similar to is it the Elaine in Northbrook with the
On Lake
top
Brook?
floor? Yeah, right on the north
It
side
has the
of.
pool in the middle.
West side of, the expressway.
Yeah, or
South
actually
side of Lake Hook.
west side of Skokie Boulevard, north of Dundee. It's not the Elaine, it's the, anyways, it's got a really similar look. I like it, it's good. It's a tall building. It's steel frame construction, I guess you have to do it. Or, yeah, light gauge.
Yep.
And so those windows on the towers, it looks like the tower is bumped out about a foot, which is really great for that lighter element. What's the material on that lighter element on the corner?
brick, face brick.
It is face brick. It's not like a stacked stone or something fussy. It's just brick.
Mhm.
Excellent. Good. Yeah, there's a lot about this I like a lot. So the like club or indoor fitness center and things like that, are those in the building itself near the lobby, or do they face the street?
Right now, we're looking at facing the inside courtyard.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it'd be on the third floor facing,
On the fourth floor facing the
yeah, fourth
open
floor, okay.
courtyard.
Has more privacy.
yeah, it's kind
From
of nice.
2A.
It's kind of nice to have those at the street level though, too, but
Yeah.
that's,
You won't see it though, I don't think.
There was one point discussion that the client may be looking for a large fitness to occupy phase two. retail
Yeah,
building.
I see,
You know,
like,
it depends on the market.
yeah.
that kind of-
And so the cannabis, or at least potentially, the hope is the cannabis center would go along Linder on the backside?
It's on the lot.
So
west
kind of
corner.
the second tier retail spot?
Right,
Excellent,
right,
so it's a
right.
destination, I get it.
Mhm.
Is there, so all the parking for the retail would be in the garages, or is there any surface parking?
It will be
for-
on the ground floor. There's some surface parking that facing Tuhi, but it will be screened by landscape from the road. And then you see the.
Oh, I see, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, from the,
See that initially.
For
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cannabis or the commercial, we have 17 parking at the back here.
perfect.
Mhm. And the residential parking will be all on the upper floors.
The unfortunate reality is that people don't like to drive into garages when they're doing a quick, even though that makes no difference, it's just just people.
Very true.
So it's nice that you have some visible
outdoor.
parking, even though it's probably not I like that you have the outdoor dining towards the street. I think it's great, especially since it's covered.
Mhm.
I like that the width of the pillars on that as well. It's not, as long as that is really heavy looking, because of the size of the building. Other than that, I'd be really curious, but it's not really part of our purview, but I'd really wanna see the design of the deck, the amenity decks. Cause it's gonna be difficult, and it's gonna be expensive.
Yes and yes.
I'm glad they're,
Lots of examples of things we've done before.
I'm glad they're up 3 stories, so you don't have a well that's 7 stories.
Well, yeah, we look like,
Yeah. The parapet on the top, that was the other question I had. So you show a wider band along the upper, and so this is what you're gonna be proposing? This is, so a project like this, Brian, I mean, it's big, and so we kinda sign off on, since I've been here, I've been used to residential additions. So if we sign off on this, they don't come back, so they just work through the plan commission and village board from
Correct,
from here
unless
on.
there's some major elevation changes or design changes or building size changes where they really downsize and start changing things. But if the development ends up going as presented, Yeah, you guys are voting on this as presented, and then if there's no major change and we're substantially in compliance with kind of what it is, then it's going Plan Commission, Village Board.
Okay. So I like what I see, I just think, one more question, and then. The trash, there's gonna be compactors probably, I suspect. Is that in the garage? Is there a valet service for trash, or is there a
Recycle.
space outside where this is all going?
If you flip to the ground floor, you can show where the trash is collected.
We have a separate residential loading zone for each phase. One is closer to the Nina Street,
Yeah.
just south of the lobby on the phase one. And on the phase two, we have that on the loft side. So we
I
will have
see.
a separate trash room, compared to the trash room down to compared to.
And then everything's
Oh.
wheeled out towards the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll have to get
Garage
set on
door.
stage so that the truck can pick it up.
Yeah, so
Whether
it goes
that's
out, but,
internal or out the back, yeah, that's.
yeah.
And we have worked with our civil engineer to make sure that the turning radius all can fit for that.
Our main concern would be, anything inside the building is, to where appearance, is what that looks like at that back corner where it meets the outside, and it looks like you've got everything. Is that grayed out area, there's the exit, and then there's that. What is that?
That's the loading zone. So
Okay.
the X is the spot for a truck.
And that's covered, and
Yeah, that's all.
so it's
covered
all.
inside the building.
So if you were to back your, and I'm not that concerned about trash guys, because they'll do whatever they have to do to make their money. And I suspect there's gonna be maintenance people here that are gonna wheel anything out. So they'll wheel it out, and the trash will pick it up in the alley, or,
No,
I
it'll
guess,
stay inside the loading area.
okay, so they'll wheel the whatever it is.
Yep, and then whether the trash guy backs in or whether he stays out
Whether
in
he
the driveway
wheels it.
and pulls the dumpsters out, unloads
Yeah.
them, and then stages them back in the loading area, so.
So everything's inside the gate, and that's, I
Exactly.
guess that was my
Yep.
only,
So the intention is they never sit in the drive lane.
Yeah.
Because that is also our circulation around, so it is a circulation path for. any of the-
honestly, that'll get figured out. If it's 5 in the morning, residents will complain, and then it'll be 6 in the morning, and residents will
Right.
complain.
Yeah.
And then if it's 8 in the morning, residents will complain because you're blocking the alley, but it is part of life.
It is, yeah.
So, and then that courtyard, is that all, is it all just landscape space and sitting space, or is there any programming that you're thinking about?
Yeah, it's like benches, landscape, hardscapes. It could be a place for community programs, like for the residents there as well. We don't have a specific program there yet.
And
It's
the
more
reason
or
we
less
don't have a
leisure.
specific program is because it is phase two.
Oh, I see.
So the
Yeah, yeah.
red line that you see
Yep,
bisects our
okay.
site, it's part of the existing building to the east, and there's a tenant in there with a longer lease, and so that's why it's phase two.
It's kind of a tight space. I think it's great that it could be really a cool space. Just the only comment would be to enough space that it could be convertible if there's a party or something like that, that it's not all pretty park, that there's a spot for bags or something for some of the time, and then, a tent for something if there's.
That's a really great point.
And is there any likelihood that phase two doesn't happen?
Not the way it's been explained to us.
With the developers seeking the approval of both at once, they'll have to break
Okay.
ground and continuously
So
prosecute phase
what we're-
two.
I'm sorry, what we're approving here is phase one and two.
Yeah, it's, again, unless something changes along the way and phase 1 gets built as is and phase 2 gets downsized, the look of the building
Sure,
changes, they'll be
sure.
back. But if this is what goes forward and gets approved, we're approving both tonight.
The entire project?
Correct.
Okay. Any other comments?
We don't have to worry about any kind of signage at this point because there's no tenants in there.
Yeah, correct.
Joe?
I think it's spectacular.
It's yours.
All right, I've got nothing to add to this, other than I'm really excited about, this kind of development, especially on Tui. I move that a certificate of appropriateness be granted for case number, 2022-040A.
041.
Oh, wait, there, it's 041A at, 5440 Tui, as presented.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed? So passed.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Wow, it's amazing.
When do you start digging?
Oh, it's still warm.
Good night, gentlemen. Good night.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
is there any old business that we need to discuss, Brian?
Nope.
That is a wow.
Are there any public comments? No? Then, well, then we are adjourned.
Can somebody flip the
Oh.
switch?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.